Inside nearly every cell in your body is DNA that, if stretched out, would be about 6 feet long. But your cells are microscopic, so how does all of that DNA fit inside a tiny cell? And even more importantly, how does that tightly packed DNA determine whether you have dimples, curly hair, or attached earlobes? Today, we're going to uncover how DNA is organized into chromosomes and how those chromosomes carry the instructions for the proteins that make you, you. To start, let's recap what we already know about DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid, and it's made of individual building blocks called nucleotides. Each nucleotide contains one of 4 nitrogen bases: A for adenine, T for thymine, C for cytosine, or G for guanine. The order of these nitrogen bases determines which types of proteins are made. And proteins do the work of cells. They build structures, act as enzymes, help transport materials, send signals, and influence the physical traits that make you, you. Think back to what we learned about the central dogma of biology. If DNA never leaves the nucleus, but proteins are built by ribosomes, how does the information in DNA actually influence what traits look like? Pause the video here to record your ideas. DNA holds instructions in the nucleus where they can stay safe and protected. RNA copies one section of the DNA instructions and carries it out to the ribosomes. Then a protein is built that helps produce a specific trait. Remember, DNA is the complete set of instructions for all proteins a cell might ever need. That's thousands of proteins. But not all DNA codes for proteins, and not every cell uses every instruction. How does the cell know which instructions to use? DNA is a massive macromolecule and it needs to stay stable. Some DNA is non-coding. It doesn't contain instructions that directly code for proteins. It just helps with the structure and regulation of this big molecule. Even though not all DNA codes for proteins, the protein coding regions are what directly influence traits. DNA contains all of the instructions for every type of protein your cells could ever need to make. It's like a giant textbook with a chapter for every topic you would ever want to learn about. But if you wanted to learn about a specific topic like volcanoes, you wouldn't read the whole textbook. You would just find the chapter on volcanoes and read only that section. Like a book organized into chapters, DNA is organized into genes. A gene is a section of DNA that codes for one protein or group of proteins. Nearly every body cell has the entire DNA code, but different cells use different genes. Let's compare a stomach cell and an eye cell. The stomach digests food, so stomach cells need to produce acid to break down the food you eat. What would happen if your eye cells also produced acid? If your eye started producing acid, that would be really bad and probably painful. So how do stomach cells and eye cells know which genes to use? Like finding only the chapter you need in a textbook, your body cells only read the genes that help them do their jobs. Stomach cells activate or turn on digestion-related genes, while eye cells activate eye-related genes. Genes help us organize the instructions for different proteins, so even if all body cells have the same DNA, different cells activate different genes, making only the proteins they need. But the cell needs to carefully store all of these genes to prevent any damage to their structure. DNA is a long double helix-shaped molecule. You can picture it like a long ribbon. What might happen if all of this DNA were just thrown into a big pile in the cell? Pause the video here to record your thoughts. All of that DNA would be really tangled up. This could lead to breakage of the DNA, damaging the instructions the cell needs to make proteins. It would also probably be really hard to find individual genes when the cell needed to make a specific protein. DNA must be organized and neatly condensed to avoid tangling and damage, kind of like yarn being wrapped into neat bundles to prevent tangling. Inside the nucleus, DNA wraps around little proteins called histones, forming nucleosomes that look like beads on a string. Then, the beads can tightly coil into chromatin fiber. Finally, this chromatin fiber can wrap around itself even more, condensing into chromosomes. In eukaryotic cells, DNA is always in the nucleus, condensed and wrapped into chromatin fiber to prevent damage or tangling. But it only condenses further to make chromosomes under specific conditions. When a cell is just doing its normal job, building proteins, carrying out life processes, DNA remains in the looser chromatin form. In this form, it's slightly uncoiled, making it easier for the cell to read specific genes to build proteins. If DNA stayed super tightly packed into chromosomes all the time, it would be much harder to read the nitrogen-based sequence. But something important happens when a cell prepares to divide. Before mitosis begins, the DNA must be copied so that each new cell receives a complete set of genetic instructions. Then, that DNA has to be evenly separated into two identical sets. Which do you think would be easier to divide into two equal identical copies? Loose threads of chromatin or tightly organized chromosomes? Why? Pause the video here to record your answer. Tightly condensed chromosomes are much easier to move and separate evenly. That's why chromatin coils even further and forms the familiar X-shaped chromosomes right before cell division. Each X-shaped chromosome is actually made of two identical copies of replicated DNA called sister chromatids. These sister chromatids are attached in the middle at a region called the centromere, which holds the identical copies together until it's time for them to separate. This is how the body makes sure that every new body cell gets the complete set of DNA instructions. At the very ends of each chromatid are protective caps called telomeres. Telomeres help protect the DNA from damage, almost like the plastic tips at the ends of shoelaces that keep them from fraying. Humans have 46 chromosomes in most body cells. These chromosomes exist in 23 pairs called homologous pairs. Homo means same, so homologous chromosomes carry the same type of genes in the same locations, but they may carry different versions of those genes depending on the DNA you inherited from each parent. For example, both chromosomes in a pair might carry a gene for eye color, but the version you got from one parent may code for blue eyes, while the version from the other parent may code for brown eyes. This is how traits are inherited. Chromosomes carry genes, genes carry instructions for specific proteins, and those proteins influence physical traits. Each section of DNA that codes for one protein is called a gene. Each of your body cells contain a complete set of DNA instructions to make all of the proteins your body could need, even if that cell doesn't actually use all of the instructions. To keep all of these genes organized, DNA is carefully packaged and protected in the nucleus. DNA wraps around histones to form chromatin. Chromatin condenses into chromosomes. And chromosomes organize all of your genetic information when identical copies of DNA need to be split between two cells during mitosis. But how exactly is all of that DNA copied in the first place? In our next lesson, we'll learn exactly how this happens in the process called DNA replication. Until then, I'm Sydney. Stay curious, keep asking questions, and I'll see you next time. Hey, hey.